All right, so here's the appointment booking sequence that we use in our business and every single other service business that we work with to increase their conversions and their show up rates specifically. This will increase your show up rates by around 10 to 15% and make your appointments more bought in, I would say. So a lot of businesses that I've seen, they don't even have a appointment reminder sequence. They literally just schedule their appointments on Google Calendar, or they send some kind of generic regular appointment reminder sequence. Okay. Something like a Google Calendar invite when you initially confirm, day before the appointment, and then the day of the appointment, some kind of general confirmation. This sucks. Okay. It's not personalized whatsoever. You don't have any human element, any touch to it. And the person is not bought into the appointment whatsoever leading up. Okay. For example, let's say you book a restaurant. Okay. And the restaurant doesn't even send you an appointment reminder sequence, or maybe they do send you some reminders, but it's just general, okay? Versus a restaurant that you book it in, the owner of the restaurant gives you a call, the day before. You have personal messages coming in from your host, and on top of that, they say, "Hey, take a look at the menu a little bit more in depth," or "Here's some things that you might not have seen on the menu before you come in." So there needs to be some element of human versus I call it robotic auto messages. And typically what works best is a split between 40% of your messages should be human-like or an actual human, and 60% should be robotic or auto messages. Okay. Example right over here, you have, a professional painting estimate, hit yes to confirm, versus a human just sitting down talking. Okay. Obviously you don't have an actual person sending these messages from a human out, but it looks like it's coming from a human, right? There's no period at the end of it. It's very just informal. So you can go more than 40-60, but honestly wouldn't recommend it because then the messages just start to come off salesy. Hence, obviously, what should I put in my reminder sequences for these people to actually be bought in, right? So first off, if you run a service business, you have some kind of confirmation sequence, typically through SMS and email or a combo of both. You want a lot of case studies. You want a lot of faces. You want a lot of other people showing the results that they got. And also you want to talk about things that is going to get them looking forward to the appointment. Doesn't mean they have to be completely giddy like a kid on Christmas for the appointment, but you want them looking forward to that appointment and whatever end result they're going to get at that appointment. So first off, you have your SMS. So typically you want a breakdown of this. So, "Hey, John, your appointment is confirmed for appointment date, appointment time. Here's some past work." Typically, you want to say, "Here's some past work," and then a link to your social media. Okay. The reason for this and not the website is because social media, people can see more, people can see faces on it. Not that you can't have that on the website, but people can see your followers, people can see more action happening on your social media than your website. You know what I mean? And typically on your social media, you want a lot of faces. And the reason for this is because faces sell. If you have some kind of landing page or a website, typically your website will convert better if you have faces at the top of the website. Okay, because it's relatable, because it makes what you are doing seem bigger than it is, like more people are involved in it. That sells a lot more than just the work. Then on top of that, in that message, you're going to want a selfie style video. This can be a video that you just record once. Then what you want to do is pre-handle any objections that typically will come up either before the appointment or on the appointment. So if you have the spouse objection, if you have whatever hesitancy, you want to handle that in the video. And then also you want to say something that gets them looking forward to that appointment. Okay. Whatever that is. Again, you don't need to have them giddy about the appointment. You literally just want them to be like, you literally could just be like, "Hey, I'll let you know on the appointment as well. Typically what we'll do is we'll sometimes, depending on the time of year, offer a small discount. So I'll let you know if we're able to do that on the day of, and I'll see you there." You know what I mean? Something that gets them looking forward to that appointment without obviously, again, being giddy and salesy and corny. For email, you literally want the same shit, to be honest. It can be a little bit longer. I wouldn't make it too long just because I don't personally like reading long emails, but that's personal preference, I guess. So down to frequency, how often should you send these? Typically what we like to do is, this is a tip as well if you want to increase your conversions, is literally don't book any appointments that are less than 3 days out. So same day, next day, day after, if the person is not available, but same day, next day appointments will literally get you the highest conversion, because obviously it's closest to when you're booking it. Now, for as far as frequency, If you want to send reminders 4 days appointments before, you can. I wouldn't recommend it, but you have 4 days before the appointment, robotic email, 2 days, a day before, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Okay. And then obviously you have your mix of robotic and human messages. These human messages are not actual human, like a human typing it out. It's literally just formatted as if a person wrote it. Now, typically on the morning of the appointment, what we've seen actually get great show up rates as well is to actually call them. Okay. So you have your appointment, call them the morning of, go through your appointments the morning of, and literally call them to confirm. If they don't answer, send them a manual text. Okay. This will increase your conversions a ton. Obviously, if it's like a same day appointment, you don't have to worry about that. Now, as far as content, what are in these confirmation emails? Obviously, you have your general confirmation like, hey, your appointment is for this time, just general reminder, stuff like that. But typically, you want in these emails to have a mix of testimonials. Okay. So testimonials, typically, literally, you want your customers on camera with you, preferably. You can even do a selfie style video with you and your customer. That would be great. If you don't have any testimonials, then just literally screenshot some of your Google reviews and throw them in the email. Within that Google review, you can literally be like, one big thing that John was worried about is us making noise during the renovation, but it was a smooth process for him. Or whatever that testimonial was, make sure you talk about, some objections that come up with the customers as well. If someone cancels, if someone no-shows, obviously we don't want that to happen, but it happens. So cancellation sequence, this should literally be sent out the minute someone cancels. Okay. So literally when someone messages that they canceled their appointment or, hey, I'm going to have to reschedule or whatever, you literally want to send this text right over here. Sounds good. I could do the same time tomorrow or whatever 2 days is from now. Does that work for you? Okay. What we have set up in our CRMs and all of the client CRMs is literally when someone responds with the word cancel, I need to move, reschedule, schedule, literally a whole list of keywords. There's like 30 in there. There's a message that goes out to Slack, which is the communication platform we use. Highly recommend you use it too. That basically notifies the sales channel being like, hey, this person may be canceling their appointment. Reach out to them right now. Okay. And then once the salesperson sees that, they reach out to them immediately and sends that text. Okay. I've seen, and this is actually retarded, I've seen people ask people if they want to reschedule. And if you think that's like pushy or salesy, honestly, I'm not here for that. Like if someone booked their appointment and they want to cancel it, they booked the appointment in the first place. Okay. Unless they tell me, no, I do not want to reschedule, I'm rolling right into the next appointment day we can book, because you booked the appointment, you probably still need the service. I'm not asking them, did you want to reschedule? That is absolutely retarded. And I've heard that before. We've worked with physio clinics before where I've literally been sitting in the front desk of my client's clinic and they literally say, okay, no worries, you want to cancel your appointment. What day works for you to reschedule? And this is absolutely retarded. So you don't want to ask them if you want to reschedule. You just roll into, hey, does this time work for you? Same time, okay? Email, more or less the same thing. And typically cancellation sequence and the no-show sequence will be the same after like the first hour, basically. So after this, they go right into the no-show sequence. This is different. When someone no-shows, if you have virtual appointments or something like that, typically you want to call them right away. 15 minutes after they no-show, obviously then it's clearly a fucking no-show. Sometimes people might be late to the appointment or whatever it is. Then you say, hey, saw we missed each other. Did you want to do later this week at the same time? 30 minutes after someone no-shows, you typically want to call them again if you have virtual appointments. From a different number. The reason I do it from a different number is because if someone is dodging and they don't want to answer or something like that, or if they're ghosting you, then you call them from a different number because they want to answer your number. You want to send messages, cancellation and no-show messages, the same exact sequence, day 3, day 6, 10, and 15. Okay. You want to do +2, 3, 4, and 5 days, and then every 7 days after that. And it might sound overkill, but our cancellation and no-show sequences are 60 days long. The reason for this, you're not asking them to go ahead and reschedule on fucking 30 days from the appointment. It's just case studies, because more or less what happens sometimes is people are busy, people have lives, obviously. And what happened is maybe they're just busy and they fucking had to pick up their kid from school and they just, put it on the back burner. But in 30 days, you get them back in your ecosystem. They're still thinking about that issue maybe, and it pops up again when they see your email. So that's why it's 60 days long. You just want to keep them in your ecosystem. The first 1 to 2 messages in the cancellation and no-show sequence after this, you want to just have messages asking to your book. The third message should be assumption messages. Some people, they don't want to message you back and they ghost you because they feel ashamed or embarrassed that they ghosted you. They just don't want to respond to you. It happens. You want to say what's in their head and say, hey, should I just go and ahead and assume. In this case, I personally, I start getting concerned. You know, is everything okay? What's going on? You know what I mean? Only use these messages after you haven't had contact for a bit. Okay. What you could do is you could spread these messages out across this, and then maybe push this message a little bit more and use something like this. Okay. Because if you start spamming them and then say, is everything okay? Doesn't hit as hard as having no contact for a few weeks, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 7 days, 14 days, and then being like, hey, you know, is everything okay? Because then you're seriously concerned, you haven't heard back. Okay. After that, I would just recommend you start fucking sending clients memes. This is what I do personally. This is what a lot of other people do, but you basically just start sending them memes with no context. This is a screenshot from a client. You can see I sent them this meme right over here, and then they responded right over here. When you start sending memes, we know, you know, like what's going on, you know what I mean? And that's kind of behind memes. It's like, hey, you know, get them to laugh, like what's going on? You want to do this or not? So you're going to boost your conversions by, I would say, minimum fucking 50%, to be honest, if you implement all of this. Now, it depends what all of this means. Okay. If you, let's say, don't implement this for like 60 days and all of this, you know, it's not a deal breaker, but the better and more bulletproof you can make your appointment booking sequence, the better. If you have one takeaway from this video, I would say definitely implement some human elements there. If you're not calling your appointments the morning of, then, and texting them if they don't answer, then already do that. That's going to increase your conversion. And then obviously you should have your pre-appointment resources dialed in with that. Okay. And if you don't have a social media, I would recommend start getting active on social media, because that's the new business card basically. So that's that. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking end the video here. Oh yeah, last thing before I end the video, if you want something like this built out, or you, I guess, want to know what the sequences should be, or you want an exact sequence, shoot me an email. I think I'll have my email below or something like that, and message me and I can help you.